video, I am going to share 5 lessons that I learned in my 20s. Grab your popcorn, grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, I'm Uju, and you may know me as Fitness Freak on this channel. I share fitness, self-improvement, and lifestyle content. Number 1, prioritizing. I used to be the kind of person that always felt I could do it all. I would literally jam-pack and cram my schedule up to the point where I don't even have breathing room. I used to think even watching TV was a crime because I just felt there always had to be something more important to be done. Let me not even dwell on the past, but just tell you the main takeaway here. You cannot do it all. Yes, I understand you want to do your hair, you want to shoot that YouTube video, you want to go and visit your aunties, uncles, cousins, sisters, mother, just got married, and then the sisters, uncles, daddies, this. See, you cannot divide yourself into two, and then you want to take your kids to have their kids play dates, and then you want to catch up on that series on Netflix. I know the list goes on and on and on, but I'm going to share a secret with you that is going to make all the overwhelm go away. Ask yourself, what can I do this week to make next week easier? You will realize that 80% of all the things on your to-dos that you think are so important are not. You can pinpoint 1 or 2 critical things that you know if you did now would actually relieve you of some stress next week. It could be in your work, in your family life, it could be just a personal commitment that you have to yourself. Assuming I have filmed a series of YouTube videos and I know that they are going to be ready to go up this week, sometimes I may just relax and feel like I don't really need to film another YouTube video. After all, I already have videos going up this week. But if I position my mind and try to think about what I need to do now that will make next week easier, I'll then realize that if I start planning to film my next week's YouTube videos this week, then next week I'm not under so much pressure to try to meet up with my upload schedule. Can you see where I'm going with that? If I have a report, for instance, that is due next week at work, and this week it's not like top priority for me because I'm swamped with other tasks, and I realize that that report is due next week at work, I can simply be intentional in my thoughts and think about what I really need to get done now that would put me in a better position next week. I'll realize that this report is due next week. I'd better start working on it now. So prioritizing is one lesson I had learned that has been an absolute game changer. And then even in me prioritizing, I have now also understood that rest is as important as work. So when I prioritize my work and I cross out all the other unnecessary things that I do not need to get done, it now frees up more time for me to just do the things that I enjoy doing. More time for me to actually live my life and actually be relaxed and not tensed and overworked or worried or overwhelmed. Try this the next time you feel like you have too many stuff to do, and trust me, you are going to come back and tell me, girl, thank you for that tip because you said it worked like magic. I just felt like I had a whole load off my shoulder. You're welcome. Lesson number 2, planning. You know that phrase which says, if you plan to fail, you fail to plan. Truer words have never been mentioned. I've been there. I have felt for the most part of my life that planning somehow was irrelevant to taking action or getting stuff done. But what I came to realize from that was you find yourself taking action on the wrong thing because you've actually failed to sit down and try to be intentional about where you are headed in your life, in your work, in your finances, in your relationships, in your education, in every single area of your life, so that when you are taking action, you are taking deliberate steps that are leading you towards where you want to go. A simple example is just your workout life. Of course, I am fitness freak. I really enjoy working out, but the truth is I am not 100% always on track with my workout plan. Ideally, I would wish I'm at a place where I could work out 5 times a week. As far as this year is concerned, my average workout has been, let's say, twice a week. It's not bad. Knowing what I'm capable of, I know I could definitely do better. So I sat down last week and just drafted a really simple workout plan. I would rather have this plan and have it somewhere in my subconscious mind, as well as typed out, written down in my notes on my phone, than winging every day as it comes by. I would typically work out in the evenings after work, but thinking I would work out when I come back after work is not really enough for me to actually get myself to do the actual workout. So what I realized is, if I do not think out the way I want my evenings to play out ahead of time, there is a 90% chance that that day is just going to go by without actually achieving what I want to achieve, even at work. But days I resume work and I take 5-10 minutes to just outline the important tasks for the day and set time limits to them, and try to block off actual time on my calendar for these tasks, I have a 99% chance of actually following through and getting stuff done than when I just get to work and decide to wing it for the day. If you're 20 or you're even 15 or 16 watching this video, you can't plan out your entire life just from watching me. Pick an area. It could be your relationship with your friends, your relationship with your family. Make a plan that you would probably call someone you care about every week or every 2 weeks or every month. Just put something down. If it's a habit that you're trying to build, make a plan around that habit. When you plan, there's much more higher chance of you getting it done than when you just leave things to chance. So if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Do the right thing. In addition to planning, there was something I started doing 2 years ago where I started bringing out my work outfits for the week. Guys, that was a big game changer. And I'm like, why didn't anyone tell me this earlier? Do you know what it meant? That I could just wake up in the morning, say my prayers, do a bit of my morning routine, get in the shower, come out, and I'm literally just stepping into my clothes for the week without having to look through and search and then start to iron on that morning. That's what planning does. It puts you one step ahead all the freaking time. I think I'm just excited. Some things are second nature to people, but that thing you feel you just do with a win without overthinking it or overstressing is like the world to somebody else. It's something that can just absolutely give their life a 360-degree change. Lesson number 3: don't sweat the small stuff. There is no other way I can say this thing other than let things go. Don't give yourself headache over something that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. How would you know what matters and what doesn't matter? Simple. Whenever you see yourself stressing over a particular thing or a particular situation, ask yourself one thing: is this going to matter in 5 years? If you can honestly answer that question and say yes or say no, this is not going to matter in the next 5 years, then just know it's not even worth your headache. Just let it go. I know sometimes you can get so furious and so carried away with the present that you feel, how will I recover from this? This is the worst thing that can ever happen. My dear, it's not the worst thing that can happen. Worse things can happen in this life. Life is not a bed of roses. We've heard that before. The only thing you just have to keep hoping and praying for is you are able to withstand whatever life throws at you. You are able to overcome whatever challenges come your way. But you see, to overflog a situation that is not going to matter later, my dear, just let it go. Honestly, if you can actually imbibe these habits right now in your 20s, you will save yourself a lot of high blood pressure. Because life is just starting. You've not even seen anything. If you're a teenager now, my dear, brace yourself and don't even break a sweat. Don't even wrinkle your face. Because sweetheart, life would always go on. You have like numerous number of years ahead of you until, you know what, I could give series of examples where why I just can't. I'm just going hysterical about one thing or the other. I just need someone to give me one glass of wine and champagne now. Let me sip, because ask me now. One thing that has ever given me headache from previous years, I don't even remember. That is how much some things will not just matter in the grand scheme of things. At this point, if you're getting value from this video, don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel and join this community of fitness, self-improvement, lifestyle lovers. I am here for you anytime that you need me. Ask me questions down in the comments. I'm willing to answer, and then let's just get on with the video. Lesson number 4, sleep. Don't be like me and be thinking that sleep is a waste of time. As a teenager, I went to boarding school, and from just 1 to SS3, so that's like from first year to 6th year of high school. I would never just go to bed, like, you know, when someone deliberately goes to bed. No, that was never me. What I would do, because I was someone who used to read a lot, I just used to take my studies very seriously, and I would have a book open in front of me, maybe on my bed. I'm reading the book, staring down at the book, like looking at it like this, and then I'm falling asleep, and I keep nodding off and struggling to read that book whilst I'm still feeling very sleepy. Obviously nothing is entering my head, but I would continue in that way until I lose to the sleep and find myself the next morning by 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. with my head literally buried in my book. And then moving on to university, of course, college, wherever you're watching this video from, the same thing ensued. I cannot remember really retiring to bed like, oh, I'm feeling sleepy, shut down laptop, close my book, tidy up my bed, lie down and cover myself to have a good night's sleep. That was never me, because I'll just feel like, oh, this sleep safe. Why now? I just need more time to read. I just need more time to catch up on 1 or 2 things, cover this syllabus, finish these past questions. Then I now continued that behavior to my work life. Hey, that was the one that killed me. Whatever it was that was the extracurricular activity I used to do after work, then I would do it comfortably up until late in the night. 12 midnight, I'll still be awake. 1 a.m., 2 a.m., I'll still be awake. Someone that is going to work the next day, that I had to be up by 6, I would stay up so late that I would barely get 4 to 5 hours sleep. Then I would go to the office, and then I would just be so cranky. I would not even be able to have a clear head to do my work. There was one of my colleagues that made a statement. I think I was even trying to brag that I don't sleep early. Like, you know, when you're even saying something, you're bragging, right? No, I don't sleep early. And it's like, that's the worst thing you can be doing to yourself. And when he said that thing, I said, okay. You know, when you listen, when you hear something and you don't really process it in that moment, but you just go with it and it's stuck in your head, and then you now give it a second thought and you are like, why would he say that? Like, it's not supposed to be a thing of pride that I don't sleep early. Like, I'm doing stuff, I'm busy. Over the years, I started to open my mind to really learn and understand the benefits of sleep, the role sleep has to play on the body, until I finally heard something that just sealed it for me. They said not getting enough sleep is the #1 factor to aging faster. Say no more. Like, don't tell me any other thing. I say, okay, don't worry. Me and sleep now, we are 5 and 6. So it was from that I started developing better sleep habits, getting quality sleep, because sleep varies now. There's quality sleep and there's just sleep. Now I started understanding how you have to sleep in a very dark environment. All those years, I even used to sleep with lights on. You have to sleep in a dark environment because your skin has receptors that absorb light. I mean, like, there's some communication there where your brain is active and responding to your skin. Like, there's just some deep stuff. And then you're supposed to sleep in a cool environment because it helps to regulate your body temperature. I now started to understand all the intricate things that go on in the body in terms of the restoration and the rejuvenation and the renewal of your cells and all those things that go on during sleep. If you're not sleeping right, that means your cells are not renewing. Your organs would start to probably have issues. Your system will start to break down. Like, I just started understanding that sleep is so much deeper than I even knew it was. Not getting enough sleep is one of the underlying factors to many diseases that happen nowadays. Talk of high blood pressure, talk of diabetes, talk of heart attack, coronary disease. Whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, as far as I'm concerned, that is just the plain and simple facts. Now, it's even part of my goals. I have a 3-day streak of 7 to 8 hours of sleep. It's now like up there on my list. I love my life, so I will do what it takes, at least in my power, to do the right thing, to keep my body right, wholesome, whole. If anything goes wrong, which I pray and hope nothing would go wrong, I'll know that, okay, I did my part too, and it is what it is. But so long as it's in my power, sleep is definitely going to be one of those things that would always be very important to me. Lesson number 5. Your mind is more powerful than you think. You know, I always have stories to tell from my past experiences because these are lessons I have learned. So I used to be kind of uncomfortable of being left with my thoughts. I would just typically like to fill up my free time with a lot of busy activities. It could be meetings. For a good 3 years of my young adult life, there was this business meeting I used to attend. Imagine 3 years. Saturdays, I never had my Saturdays to myself, and then even my Sundays were so not guaranteed. I did not used to rest though. I was always up and about. If you ask me now, what were you pursuing? I'll say, I was trying to make money. Oh yeah, now make the money. Where is the money? Shebi, yeah, money I did not see. Time I did not spend. And then I would just be like, what is it? Your 20s is the time of your life where you feel that if you don't make it now, your life is over, it is finished. If I hear when they say life begins at 40, you are not even halfway through to when your life will begin proper. It's still child's play. Fast forward to 2019, I discovered yoga. Yoga is an exercise that works with the mind, mindful breathing, challenge your body and stretch your muscles in ways that you would naturally not think about on your own. At that point of adding yoga to my exercise routine, I started noticing for the first time, I was able to start visualizing sort of my immediate future ahead of the present moment. My mind was expanding beyond the hustle and bustle, noise and distractions that were always around. I was able to just silence my environment. For that moment, think of me, think of my next 1 month, my next 2 months, my next 3 months, 6 months. With yoga, I now started learning more about meditation. Now I've added a 5-minute meditation practice to my routine. That is the one singular thing I know that I do that really helps me get clear on what is most important and helps me focus on what I need to focus on to take me to the next step towards the goal I'm trying to achieve. I don't want to sound motivational because these things I'm sharing are lessons that I have learned. There is nothing aspirational or nothing intangible about them. They are actual life lessons. I think some people have done well in discovering the power of the mind, but for some of us who were unfortunate to catch up early enough, soon enough we'll really be able to harness the power of intentional thinking, the power of mindfulness, the power of reflective thinking as well. My life is a life of habits and routines, but it's fine. I would share some of these things as we go along on this channel. I added another habit to my routine, which is journaling. So what journaling does is it just helps you share your current experiences and helps you share your plans for what you want to do, where you're headed. There's no limit to what you can write in your journal. For me, journaling is just like penning my thoughts down. Since I discovered journaling, I'm able to just free up my mind and use my mind for better things. Everything is linked to helping your mind work in the best way that it can work. I want you to always try to tune off from time to time, tune off from social media, tune off from the world around you, from the noise, from the distractions, from everything pulling you left, right, and center. Don't be afraid to be left with your own thoughts. Don't make the same mistake I did, because I actually feel that if I had discovered being able to stay still and think or feel what I'm feeling at any given moment earlier on in my life, I would have probably just found the kind of balance that I have now, right now, that I know these things earlier on. It's fine. I mean, they say better late than never, right? So I'm glad that I am here. I want you to select just one of these lessons and apply it to yourself. I wish you nothing but good luck. I would really love to hear from you, if whether you're in your 20s or you're above 20s, wherever you are at whatever stage in your life right now, just share one lesson in the comments and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much guys for watching up until this point. Bye guys.